bike. And let's see here. Got about 6.2 hours of practice time. Most of this is track time. Done a little bit of riding in the field, but it's a fully built this motor. It has a performance top end, crankshaft, and I put this Chinese Loctite Stator on it as a Loctite flywheel, and it really makes a difference in the low speed. Kind of takes away from your torque in corners. Almost kind of doesn't have enough momentum, so you have to be very aggressive in how you ride this bike. But anyways, the issue that I'm having here is after about 6 hours of run time, I noticed that the stator seal is starting to leak pretty bad. And I noticed that it looks like it keeps popping out. And I didn't want to super glue it. I have another stator, but I figured it's just the way it's designed, it's Chinese. So what I'm going to go ahead and try to do is basically, here's our original seal. The lips still pretty good on it, it looks like. I don't think that's going to be an issue. It doesn't look like it was damaged. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to use this Loctite oil and gas resistant adhesive, and let's see. Final bond is resistant to oil, gas, and antifreeze. Bonds metal to porous surfaces, rubber, most plastics, vinyl, leather, and fabric. Note for metal to metal bonding, use Loctite superglue or Loctite epoxy. So I figure this is what we're going to use for, hold that seal in there, hold that thing in place. This is the Loctite flywheel. As you can see, it's a lot smaller than the traditional flywheel. The traditional flywheel's like probably weighs, almost 2 pounds, 3 pounds or so. This only weighs, I think, like 14, maybe 1 pound just or so. And it does make a difference. But let's see here. So what I'm going to do, fresh tube. Now it says about 30 minutes for high strength cure and about 1 hour. Oh, I hope I don't make a mess doing this. So let's see. Well, so far so good. That's probably enough. Now if I use a Q-tip, kind of spread it. Just a little bit more right there. And I would imagine that should be enough sealant. So what I'm going to do, without dropping it, carefully pop that bad boy in. Very nice. Get a little rag. So it really didn't push out, it looks like. No, it didn't push out. So I want to make sure I don't get any sealant on the lip. Looks like it pushed out just a little bit in that corner. Oh, tacks up pretty quick too. Make sure there's nothing. Okay. I'm hoping that's it. Yeah, seal doesn't look like it's damaged. Hopefully it didn't get too worn out. I don't know how bad it was spinning. I'm assuming for a little while. It probably once it started spinning is exactly the time when it started leaking. So it says 30 minutes for high strength. I mean, it's a pretty tight fit. So I'm kind of hoping that fixes it. Let's see. And wipe out this oil here. How to use a custom O-ring. And maybe I'll reseal that right there. I think I have a new, this Stator. It kind of just acts as like a dust seal. Let's see. Could probably reseal this though. And maybe since I usually use gasket cinch, but maybe what I'll do is seal this with that Loctite adhesive. Okay. But then again, too, it kind of, once you put that adhesive on, it makes it kind of permanent. The gasket cinch here kind of comes off pretty easily, which I like. Yeah, I think we're just going to stick with the gasket cinch on that. I've always had good luck with it. And I won't be using my fresh gasket cinch. I'll be using my, I noticed this once it's kind of older, it kind of tacks up a little bit better. Kind of like remains like a gel almost. Okay. And just because when it dries, it comes off really easily. I just wiped it off right now. I know it looks a little nasty, but it's I really like using this stuff. Okay. And then put a little bit of grease on that seal. Maybe I'll put a little bit of fresh gasket cinch too, because the can, yeah, it's kind of weird. The fresh stuff is a little bit more liquidy, I guess you could say. And I'm just going to put a little bit of grease. Okay. And oh yeah, I forgot there's an O-ring. Let me see if I can lean this thing over just a little bit more. Okay. All right, cool. Now, let's place this O-ring in here. One kind of fell out actually. A little bit of gasket cinch. It kind of holds that in place. Okay. The upper one looks like it's good and hasn't moved. Looks like my welds, I welded that's kind of the cool thing there. I actually welded when I was rebuilding the motor, I noticed that the cases were cracked and it looks like they're holding up. I think they're holding up. That side right there looks okay. I don't know about that one though. Oh shit. Well, I mean, As long as it doesn't come apart completely, I guess. We'll find out. Pushing a lot of horsepower out of this little bike right here. Let's see, go ahead and put that back on. And okay. So 30 minutes, so figure by the time I start the stream like that there, it's kind of pulling that cover into place. Boom. So originally I was having an issue with the O-ring. This is like an XR50 type. The O-ring here on the stator on the outer side. The one that came with this was just a little too thick, and it was actually causing it. I couldn't even get it in, and by forcing it in place, it would leak. So I actually measured it and found some custom ones from this brand. I think it's SKF maybe, and it fits perfect. And so I eliminated this leak, but then now we have that crankshaft leak there, which kind of sucks. Um, but either way, okay, so that kind of went like that. And I know I have some new Stator cover gaskets. Maybe I'll pull one of those out. And here's our rotor. Hopefully I don't have to adjust the timing. I also noticed, interesting. Yeah, when I put it on, it didn't seem to run fine. Yeah, just eyeballing it. So I'm gonna leave it like that in this position for about 30 or so minutes, and more custom parts to make the China parts fit. A little bit of Loctite, medium strength. I just fucking ooga dooga this motherfucker on. Race bike. What torque spec? There we go. Tits. Torque to spec. Should be good. It's such a light rotor, I don't think it would even, it's not going to like strip the keyway or anything like that. And I always like to mark it just to see if anything moves, and I've never seen anything move position, none of the washers or the rotor like it's slipping or anything, so pretty sure that's legit. Get some of this oil out of here. Some suspension clean. It's a little bit nicer on the engine surfaces compared to like carb cleaner. Doesn't usually damage the paint or anything like that, and pulls all the dirt and grime off and oil. All right, pretty solid. And would figure if that's the, if that's the fix, when I come to it tomorrow, I'll probably, I don't know, if I don't have to use these ramps here, we'll see. I'd kind of like to let it submerge right now. It's not making any contact. The oil level's like really low, so if I leave it in this position for at least 30 minutes, should be good. And I don't know, this gasket right here seems to be in, even though it's saturated in oil. I just use this for practice laps at the track. I don't really do any hardcore off-roading, so the only water that usually gets in this bike is for when I pressure wash it, and that's what kind of sucks. Maybe if I seal this a little bit better, I think it's the grommet that kind of leaks. Water when I pressure wash the bike will sometime make its way into the stator. Oh, and there goes the gasket. And yeah, it just makes it like one extra thing that I have to check after I'm done pressure washing the track for, just using it for the day. I gotta take off this cover here, the shifter lever, the cover, and then just double check that water didn't get in there. And if it did, wipe it out, blow it out with some compressed air, and maybe spray a little bit of oil in there, and then call it a day. It's usually good. Okay, gasket. Put just a little bit more gasket cinch. There we go. Okay. And let's see here. I'll just, oh, looks like it's dripping just a little bit. I put just a little too much on the backside. There it is. That's what I like about this stuff too. It's like really doesn't make that much of a mess. There we go. And if it dries, it dries. It's not really a big deal. It's just a little right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this gasket back on. And we'll put the cover back on, and that's pretty much it. I should probably check the rotation, make sure that the... might as well. Oh, high compression. No, looks... usually just eyeball it. It's like 12 thousandths. Usually I shine a light behind it, and if I can see a nice air gap, it's hard to get it perfect because, once again, it's Chinese. Nothing's really like super parallel or, in round. Air gap looks good. Just making sure that the rotor isn't making actual contact on these pickups here. Good enough. We'll find out. Usually it starts up first, second kick anyways. Just a little mini race bike that I built so I could keep up with my son on the track and, kind of have something that's faster than every little kid that's out there. Pretty much I'll keep up with like an 85cc 2-stroke or like a 150cc 4-stroke. Same thing. It is a 160cc, and it's pretty fast. So That's all the same length. What is that? Let's try that. Okay. Okay. That's pretty much it. Find out tomorrow. I don't know, or maybe I'll wait like an hour or two. Sun's about to go down right now. Usually if I wait about an hour or so, wait for it to fully cure, and then basically come back and fire her up. If it doesn't leak within a couple minutes, then maybe I'll go ahead and do another video and maybe do a test ride. If not, maybe tomorrow morning when the sun's up. That way, probably try to attach it to the handlebars or something. Let's see. People say in the comments. Mallory Rollins, yo, what's going on? We got Alan Sudas. Hi, Alan here. Do you know where I can get a Suzuki DR600 engine for sale? Dirt bike engines? No, that's kind of hit or miss. If you want a motorcycle engine, I mean, I know a lot of salvage yards in this area. Probably, get you something about a DR650 or 600. Maybe eBay. eBay's probably gonna be your best chance. We got Paul O'Kane, loving it. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Just working on doing some backyard mechanics kind of stuff. And then we got Hamar MCG. That a Zongzhen 155 or a YX160. Sorry, late to this. Yes, you're right. It is a YX160. A lot of people. Uh, I have some other videos on this. This is like one of the first lives I've done on my bike. I figured, let me make a little video. I got a problem with it. I haven't had any problems with this bike in the 6 hours since I rebuilt the engine and pretty much did a full restoration. Rebuilt the entire bike. It's pretty fun. Hasn't fallen apart yet. A lot of stuff's came loose. I've had to tighten up the spokes and engine mounts, but 6.2 hours and nothing's gone yet. I just noticed my welding on the engine case is there. Hopefully it doesn't come apart. But yeah, this is a YX160. It's basically the stock cylinder, and then I put a TB parts. One of their performance cylinder heads has like bigger valves and a different cam. One of their intake ports, and then I forget what this is. I think it's a Mikuni VM28, if I'm not mistaken, VM24. I got their little pod filter. This is kind of like the setup that I had to do. Mounted the CDI box right there with the fuel petcock. I need to put a new gas tank on it. Gas tank's starting to leak. Has an oil cooler, which is pretty cool. Has some nice suspension. I don't think, yeah, it's adjustable. I think let's see, it says rebound up there. I think that's rebound. I don't know if that's rebound, and I don't know if it has compression. Yeah, so it has rebound and it has compression settings, which is really nice. The way it's set up right now, it works pretty good. Now it runs really nice. It's tuned to perfection. It'll do it feels like it does like 50 miles an hour, no problem. It's a little bike. Yeah, I have the Zongzhen 155 and YX140. Yeah, I wouldn't mind finding one. I think this is like considered the SSR160 TD Pro or something like that. And I was looking on Craigslist offer up, and it looks like a lot of people don't have the YX 140s or 150s or 160s anymore. It's like very rare to find them. And usually I'm finding like the 110s and the 125s, and those don't have like the good suspension and you know, this type of motor right here. They have like more of the XR style engines. This is like kind of its own engine design here. Like a KLX 110 with like a Honda. It's like a KLX top end with like a Honda XR50 bottom end almost. If that's like kind of like the best way to put it. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Man, I want to see. Let's see. We've been about 25, 26 minutes into the stream, so it's about 5:19 right now. If I wait about another hour, the sun will probably be down, so I probably won't be able to videotape it. So maybe I'll just wait until tomorrow to fire it up and see. If it starts leaking, usually let's see, that little hole right there, it usually just starts, oil just starts pissing out of that hole uh, from the stator seal. So, you know, if it's been repaired, hopefully we won't have it, and fire it up and do a little test ride. You guys can listen to this thing. It's pretty sick. But yeah, if you're not following and just found this live stream, go ahead and give me a follow, give it a thumbs up, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching.